Entertainment Soldier here, and I am back to talk about Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 2, and my thoughts on this episode. Well, that did not take long, did it? It took 2 episodes before it went fucking woke. Wow. Just wow. Like, every SJW fear, every fucking thing they say the world is now, they are putting into this show. They put in climate change, they put in slavery. My God, they put fascists in charge of the Federation. Oh no, not the Federation. It's a new name now. Wow. This was a bad episode. And my biggest problem is, this could be interesting if they stayed. If we were going to just stay in this universe. I would actually like to see a fascistic federation, because I think it would be interesting to see Picard trying to fight against that. And the problem is, we're not going to stay here for long, because we all know what's going to happen. We're going into the past to fix something that's happened by Q. But this episode was bad. But there was one thing I liked. One thing that was obvious this show can't really destroy. And that is fucking Q. Q was amazing in this episode. I loved him in it. Everything he does, every time he's on screen, it just reminds me why the character Q is just so beloved. Especially the actor who plays him. He's just so good at being Q. Especially this new kind of Q. And I guess it is a new type of Q. But, God, he's the best part of this show. Patrick Stewart, you need to fucking retire, because Jesus fucking Christ. It is a struggle to watch you now. A massive struggle. You cannot act anymore. Like, that is... No, you cannot act. Every fucking time he is on screen, it is hard to watch. This guy is too fucking old. I am sorry that age catched up to him. I'm sorry his career started at 50 when people started noticing him. But god damn, how the hell did the director not just watch this and just put his head in his hands and just say, this guy can't act anymore? Again, I'm not saying he's the worst fucking actor in this show, because again, there are other characters. But you can see age is not Patrick Stewart's friend. I'm sorry, but god damn it, man. I remember him from Generations. I remember him from the fucking Star Trek films. I remember him 5 years ago. He was acting fantastically. Now, he can't do it. It feels like... It really does feel like I'm watching someone who has never acted before in their life. And I am pissed off about that. Listen, I wish this wasn't true. I really do. But Patrick Stewart's time is done. Just retire, man. With some dignity. Not try to push out some woke crap shows and destroy a character that pretty much made your fucking career. Captain Picard made Patrick Stewart's career, and to see him throw it away like this, it hurts. It really does. But he's going to be in a new Doctor Strange film, so I don't know. Maybe it's bad directing, but god damn, it is a struggle to watch him now. But yes, this episode was not good. There were entertaining parts. Like, again, I do find it, I'm going to say it, fascinating to watch a Federation that has turned fascist. Because you'd always wonder. And again, I don't think we've ever got that from the Mirror Universe, because the Federation didn't survive there. And every time we've been there, it's only been for like 2 minutes. And you don't really get a sense of the universe that the Terran Empire created. And this is pretty much a new type of Terran Empire, which it would be interesting to watch. It would be interesting to go around the galaxy and see what they've done. But unfortunately, this show's not going to stay here, so we can see that. We also had a problem this episode with member fucking berries. There were 3 characters they brought back in the shittest way possible. One of them actually, again, they're trying to, I can't take the spoilers, but they were trying to make them actually sympathetic, one of these characters. Wow. Just, wow, this was bad. But the episode didn't feel slow. I'll give it that. Again, this is still better than Discovery. It is better than Discovery, but it's still bad. Oh, I'm just so disappointed. I thought it'd be 4 episodes, 5 episodes in before they'd go full woke. No, they went full woke in this episode, and that is a shame. But if I was to give this episode a score, I would give it a 4. I think it's a bad episode, but there are good parts, and I'm thinking just Q mainly. But goddamn, it did not take long for them to just shit all over Picard and shit all over the universe again. So I'm going to go into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave now. So in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with Q and Picard talking about what's happening. Picard wants to know what happened to Stargazer. Q's not telling him anything much. He's trying to, do the normal Q thing to do, which is to mess with Picard. And Picard, again, swears at Q, and he looks confused. And Q just tells him, this is the road not taken. You're not the piece on the board. You are the board I'm playing on. And in this, Q does look different. He does seem different. He doesn't seem his joking self. He seems more serious. He seems more threatening than I've ever seen Q before. We've seen Q at his lowest and we've seen Q at his most dangerous. But I think we're seeing Q at his most evil now. I think Q is dying, unfortunately. I think that's what's happening. Now, I know somebody's going to tell me, well, Qs are immortal. I know that, but Qs have died before, especially in Voyager. One chose to die. Maybe something's happened to Q, and he's heading towards an end to his life. And we're going to find out about that in the final episode. I mean, again, it would be classic Kurtzman to kill off Q in such a ridiculous way, but who knows? But in this, I really like this Q. I see him as a threat, because I never saw Q as a threat in previous Star Trek shows. He'd never seen as a threat. He just seemed like somebody who wanted to educate Picard, educate Janeway. He's always seemed that way. He's never seemed a threat. In this, he seems like a threat that Picard needs to fight, and I really did enjoy that. I wish Patrick Stewart was better at his acting and was Patrick Stewart from 10 years ago, because that would be interesting to see. Unfortunately, we're not there anymore. But Q then puts them on the field, and he tells Picard about the universe, pretty much that the Federation is no longer the Federation. It is a military. It's a confederacy. He walks Picard around his house and shows him that Picard in this timeline is a war hero who has slaves and who has slain all these important people, because they brought the skulls back, not the characters, the skulls of Goldacott, Martok, and Sarek. And they explained that all these characters have been killed by Picard. Now, I thought that was absolute dog shit. Like, are you fucking serious? You just picked out characters from other shows and said Picard killed them? Wait, what the fuck? So apparently the Federation has turned into a military, dictatorship, and have just gone over the galaxy and are now human supremacists, just killing all these other races. They've exterminated the Klingons because, again, Kurtzman can't get over the fact the fandom laughed at his designs of the fucking Klingons, and he has to just remind us that the Klingons are all gone, like he is a cunt. But he also mentioned Dukat and trying to make him seem like, a sad character who Picard killed. Like, Dukat was a cunt. I'm glad he got killed in this universe and in the last universe. Like, why are you trying to make Dukat a sympathetic character? He was a rapist and a fucking genocidal maniac. But again, these writers don't watch the show, so they don't understand who Gul Dukat is. Something tells me they watched one episode of Deep Space Nine, saw he was in it, and thought he was a good guy. You stupid twats. And why bring Martok into it? It's just stupidity. And the Sarek stuff. Because Q tells Picard killed Sarek in front of his wife and in front of Spock. Like, come on, you're trying so hard to make this Picard seem like the most evil fucking character that Star Trek has ever seen. And it didn't need to be that bad. I mean, the fact Picard was a general and he was just killing races was fine. Like, that's evil enough. But to say he killed Sarek in front of his son and his wife, I mean, it's just over fucking kill. And then we get this ridiculous picture on the wall of the Enterprise. Oh no, World Gazer, because they've changed that name for no reason. So it's not the Enterprise he served on, it's the World Ender Gazer, whatever it was called. And it's a battleship that he's now gone around the galaxy and slaughtered all these races. It was just so fucking bad. Like, it's overkill, over fucking kill. And then Q jumps them to... Well, then Q just leaves him, and Picard then tries to figure out what's happening and where he is. And then we get the fucking talk about... I forgot to mention, Q mentioned the climate change crap, which is apparently Earth didn't try to fix itself. You know, all the shit from the past, you know, that fixed Earth. No, everything got kicked out, and the Earth just pretty much turned into a wasteland on life support because there's a shield over Earth now because of all the gases and the, you know, climate change bullshit that happens. Again, I believe in climate change. I believe we're doing shit. I believe we should fix it. But this is like a hammer to the face to tell you climate change is important. I get climate change is important. I do my bit. But god damn it, it's like the activists for climate change. They piss you off so much that you just want to stop because it's annoying. Again, ugh. But anyway, Patrick Stewart talks to his robot, because he has a robot now, and asks him, like, what is he like, and did he see Q with him? Oh, and Q did hit Picard, which I actually liked, because, you know, Patrick Stewart's a bit of a twat. So kind of enjoyed, you know, Q slapping Picard. That was funny. Anyway, Patrick Stewart tries to figure out what's happening to him. We then go to Seven, who is now the president of the Confederacy of Earth. What the fuck? Like, why would she be president? I would believe Picard be president, but why would Annika Hansen be president? That was just weird to me. But yeah, she's now president. She then looks at a mirror and sees she hasn't got any Borg stuff on her anymore. Then she sees that she has a husband, because the husband then comes in and tells Seven that she needs to get ready for the ceremony, which is an execution ceremony or an execution day where they celebrate by killing people who are against the Confederacy of Earth, which seems to be fun. I mean, what the fuck? And that's how we find where Annika is. We find Raffi is now the head of Earth security, and it's just whatever. Anyway, so Annika tries to figure out what's happening and where she is. She gets told all this information about the, you know, execution day. She then asks for a communication. I mean, she wants to talk to an officer in the Federation, but she remembers she's not in the Federation anymore. She's in the Confederacy. Again, calling this thing a Confederacy, I mean, it's pretty fucking blunt what they're trying to say. I mean, like, way too over the top. calling it a confederacy. At least with the Mirror Universe, they called it something different, the Terran Empire. But this, the Confederacy, we all know what you actually fucking mean, writers. Ugh, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, she wants to talk to an officer in the Confederacy. She picks Raffi, who turns out that he's a colonel now, and we see Raffi is attacking Romulus. And he wakes up on the ship, doesn't understand what's going on, but apparently he's now leading an attack on Vulcan, where they're trying to destroy the last parts of Vulcan. He gets a signal from Seven. They try to casually, find out if they are both the same person from the same timeline, and they both figure out they are. Raffi gets called back by Seven, and he then abandons his attack on Vulcan. Well, his men stay, but he leaves. The next scene is an explosion in a city. Turns out it's a bunch of terrorists or freedom fighters, wherever you see them as. They blow up a building, and this is all for, to get back at the Confederacy. We see Lego Boy there, because he's such an important character. God, I hate the character so much. I really do. So Lego Boy is apparently a part of a terrorist group, but the woman that he's with gets killed. He gets chased down by some Confederates. I think that's just what you have to call them now. Confederates. But Raffi saves him by killing all the Confederates. She tries to get him out of the area, but more Confederates turn up. She arrests Lego Boy, and they head off to the palace to see Seven. At least I think that's what the plan was. It could just be some random shit, but who knows. Then Picard gets ready to go to the palace as well. Seven talks to her husband, but her husband's becoming a bit suspicious, so she tries to get him off her case by telling him to be more focused on the execution day, and that seems to shut him up. Then Seven goes to meet with Agnes, who's apparently experimenting on something underneath the palace. Turns out it's the Borg Queen, and the Borg Queen can see through different timelines, so she could be everywhere at once apparently, and she knows that this timeline is wrong. Seven is a bit threatened by this because again it is the Borg and she has history with the Borg, and apparently on the execution day she is the main event. Picard then arrives at the palace. Raffi is being forced to give over Lego Boy because that's how they do things in the Confederacy. But Picard runs up and he walks up and pretty much threatens all the Confederate officers that they're not to touch Lego Boy. He will personally interrogate him himself, or Raffi will. Oh God, again, it was bad acting from Picard. Again, he's trying to seem strong, but it just didn't come off that way. It really did feel forced. It really didn't feel like a smooth actor. None of it felt smooth from him. I'm sorry, but that's just fact. So Raffi and Picard and Lego Boy meet up with Seven. Seven explains to them the situation. They're in an alternate timeline. Picard mentions Q. Kind of seems weird that Raffi doesn't know who Q is. I mean, if you've been a friend to Picard for so long, how the fuck has Picard not ever mentioned Q? You know, the guy who literally put humanity on trial? Like, that's a big thing he went through. It's like, how would you not know? But again, these writers are stupid. So they go down to see the Borg Queen, and Picard then has a little bit of a hissy fit with the Borg Queen, and then Seven takes a shot at the Borg Queen by saying, "How does it feel to have your entire species dead? Now you know how it feels for all the other races that you've conquered." Kind of think this is a plus, isn't it? I mean, apparently the Confederacy has taken out the Borg, so they've done something right. I mean, they are a bunch of racist cunts, and I hope they all die, but they seem to have killed the Borg. And we all know what the fucking Borg are going to do. I mean, the Borg Queen is going to try to assimilate Earth, isn't she? when that's what she's going to try to do. She's going to call in the Borg early to take away the threat of the Federation, because the Federation seriously damaged the Borg. So that's pretty much what she's going to do by the end of this show. But anyway, so the plan is to do what Kirk did and go around the sun and go back into time, basically, because Picard mentions that Kirk's done it a bunch of times. So that's the plan. So Raffi gets back with his ship to Earth, tries to beam them all out, but turns out all the defences are up because of the ceremony, and the Borg Queen gets put back into the cage to be sent up for the execution. Then Picard and Seven have to be at this rally, which is really weird for what the hell a rally's supposed to be. I mean, it did feel like they're trying to put like a little bit of politics into this, like a rally means that you're a racist. I don't know. It just felt so weird. Like, why would you bother with any of this? And the crowd just looked. They didn't look Federation, and I know they're not Federation, but it didn't really look futuristic. It looked like a bunch of poor people in rags and shit. So you're telling me the Earth Federation, the Earth Alliance or whatever, just has poor people all over it? I don't know. Again, it just seems weird in Star Trek to see people in rags, especially on Earth. When Earth, again, I get it, timeless has shifted, but it just seems so weird. Oh man, anyway. So Picard is pretty much put in the mid. The Queen comes up in the middle. Seven does a speech to the crowd about how Earth's the mightiest thing, and let's make sure we let everybody in the galaxy know that you don't mess with Earth. Basically, that's what the speech was about. Picard then goes on stage to get ready to execute the Borg Queen, but he's like stalls for time, and it does look weird because the crowd start noticing it and then start booing Picard because Picard can't kill the Queen because they need the Queen to go back in time. And whilst they're all doing this, Agnes is fixing a badge to get through the defences of the Confederacy. She manages to do that, and then Raffi beams the entire crew up to the ship. Oh, I forgot the ridiculous scene between Raffi and Lego Boy, where she goes to a security office, brings Lego Boy with her, and all the security officers do not immediately force the Romulan out of the room. It just felt so weird. Like, why would you let that security risk happen? Like, it makes no sense. Like, even Raffi's excuse is like, oh, he told us that he's put a virus in the system. Don't mean you bring him with you. And then we have this fight between Lego Boy and the Federation officers. He kills all three of them. And whatever. So the plan works. They put down the shields. Rios beams them all up on the ship. And then they prepare to leave. But the Seven's husband manages to beam onto the ship with a security team and turns off the ship's power because he has a presidential code, and that turns off the ship. And then the episode ends with the husband threatening Picard and preparing to kill him. And that's the end of the episode. Unfortunately, the episode was woke. There's a lot of bad bits. I do feel sorry for the Q actor because he really is good at that character. I really do feel that if this show was done by real Star Trek fans, people who actually knew what they were doing, this show might have been a success. But unfortunately, it is Kurtzman Trek, and that's the best we're ever going to get. So, not a good episode, good parts, but just, again, it didn't last long. 2 episodes in, it's already gone woke as fuck. But that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And do think about subscribing if you like my content. Hail the Fan of Menace, long live CG, and fuck SJWs. Bye.